Welcome, chosen ones. If this message has found you right now, understand this clearly. Nothing about this moment is accidental. January 17th is not just another date on the calendar. This is a turning point, a divine checkpoint, a moment where unseen doors begin opening rapidly, and what you have been praying for in silence starts moving toward you at surprising speed. The energy surrounding you right now is active, alive, and responding to your faith, your patience, and your endurance. The miracle shift you've been waiting for is not approaching anymore. It is live. It is happening now. For a long time, you felt delayed, blocked, or forgotten. Nights where you questioned why things weren't changing, even though you were doing everything right. Days where you stayed strong for others while quietly fighting battles no one ever saw. But January 17th marks the moment where the universe, God, in your higher path begin to respond all at once. This is not slow progress energy. This is fast-moving, catch-up energy. This is the kind of shift that makes people say, everything changed so suddenly. Chosen ones, the first thing you need to understand is that good news is already forming behind the scenes. Conversations are happening without your involvement. Decisions are being made in your favor while you sleep. People who once overlooked you are suddenly remembering your name. What was delayed wasn't denied. It was protected. Now the timing is aligned and the release is happening quickly. You may start noticing signs immediately. Unexpected messages, sudden clarity, a feeling of calm replacing anxiety without explanation. This is confirmation that your miracle cycle has begun. January 17th activates a wave of divine alignment where the weight you've been carrying starts lifting. Not all at once, but enough for you to breathe again, enough for hope to feel real. The second shift happening now is restoration. Something that was taken from you, emotionally, financially, spiritually, or energetically, is coming back in a new and stronger form. This isn't a repeat of the past. This is an upgraded return. You are not getting back what you lost. You are receiving what you deserved all along. And when it arrives, it will make sense why things had to fall apart first. Chosen ones, this is also a season where truth reveals itself quickly. Masks fall, hidden intentions come to light. You may suddenly see who was blocking you, draining you, or silently competing with you. Don't be afraid of this clarity. It's protection. What leaves now was never meant to go where you're heading, and what stays will support you in ways you've never experienced before. Another powerful shift unfolding is relief. Deep emotional relief, the kind that doesn't come from words but from knowing something is finally changing. Your nervous system has been in survival mode for too long. January 17th begins a reset. You may sleep better, breathe deeper, feel lighter. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. Chosen ones, abundance is also moving fast now. Money, opportunities, resources, and ideas are flowing toward you in unexpected ways. It may start small, but it will grow quickly. This is divine compensation for the period where you gave without receiving, trusted without proof, and kept going without validation. The universe has not forgotten your sacrifices. Another piece of good news coming fast is connection. For some, this is a person who understands you at soul level. For others, it's reconnection with your purpose, your confidence, or your spiritual power. You are stepping into a phase where you no longer chase, you attract. You no longer explain, you are recognized. You no longer beg, you receive. Chosen ones, January 17th also activates protection. What tried to harm you will no longer reach you. What was sent against you will lose its power. What you feared will not manifest. You are surrounded right now by strong spiritual defense. This is why things may suddenly feel quieter. The storm has passed, even if you're just now realizing it. The final and most important shift is belief. Something inside you is changing. You're no longer hoping blindly. You're knowing. You're not wishing. You're expecting. This inner shift is what unlocks everything else. Miracles don't arrive when you're desperate. They arrive when you're aligned. And right now, you are aligned. Chosen ones, do not doubt this moment. Do not talk yourself out of what you feel. Do not let past disappointments convince you that this is just another message. This one is different because you are different. As this shift continues to unfold, you may notice something very important happening inside you, before it fully manifests outside you. Your reactions are changing. Things that once triggered fear, anger, or doubt no longer have the same power over you. This is a sign that your spirit has moved to a higher level. When your inner world changes, the outer world is forced to respond. January 17th is activating this internal elevation, and from this point forward, life begins meeting you where you are now, not where you used to be. You may feel moments of emotional release for no clear reason, tears that come without sadness, smiles that appear without a cause. These are not random. This is old energy leaving your body. This is the weight of past timelines dissolving. You are no longer carrying the lessons. You have completed them. And once a lesson is completed, the reward follows quickly. Chosen ones, pay attention to the sudden urges you feel during this time. The desire to clean, to rest, to disconnect from certain people, or to start something new. These impulses are guidance. Your soul knows what's coming, and it is preparing space for it. Do not ignore these nudges. They are helping you align faster with your miracle. Another powerful sign of this shift is timing speeding up. Things that used to take weeks or months will now happen in days. Answers come quicker. Opportunities appear suddenly. Delays break without warning. This is not luck. It is divine acceleration. You are in a season where momentum replaces stagnation. Chosen ones, some of you will receive news that changes the direction of your life. It may come through a phone call, an email, or an unexpected meeting. At first, you may not fully realize how big it is, but within days, you'll see how everything begins rearranging around this one moment. This is the universe stepping in where you can no longer force outcomes on your own. You are also stepping into a phase where your voice carries power. When you speak, people listen. When you decide, things move. When you pray, answers come. This is because you are no longer asking from a place of lack, but from alignment. Your energy has shifted from I hope to I know. Chosen ones, let go of the need to control how your miracle arrives. Control was necessary when survival was required, but now surrender is the key. What is meant for you will not miss you. What is not aligned will remove itself effortlessly. Trust this process even when it unfolds differently than you imagined. You may notice people from the past resurfacing. Some come with apologies. Some come seeking access to the new version of you. Be discerning. Not everyone who recognizes your growth deserves a place in your future. This season is about quality, not quantity. Peace, not chaos. Truth, not confusion. Chosen ones, the universe is responding to the strength you built in silence. No one saw how many times you almost gave up. No one knew how close you were to walking away. But you stayed. And because you stayed, you are now receiving. January 17th is not an ending. It is a crossing, a threshold between who you were and who you are becoming. You are stepping into a timeline where effort meets reward, where faith meets evidence, where prayers meet manifestation. As this acceleration continues, you may feel moments where time itself feels different. Hours pass quickly, days feel lighter, and the heaviness that once followed you everywhere begins to fade. This is because you are no longer stuck in resistance. You are flowing. And when you flow, life moves with you instead of against you. Do not be surprised if you suddenly feel detached from old struggles. Problems that once consumed your thoughts may now seem distant, almost unreal. This does not mean you don't care anymore. It means you have risen above the frequency that created them. When your energy shifts, the battles tied to the old energy dissolve naturally. Chosen ones, something very important is happening with your intuition right now. It is becoming sharper, clearer, and impossible to ignore. You may start sensing outcomes before they happen. You may know who to trust without proof. You may feel guided to say yes or no instantly without overthinking. This is not imagination. This is alignment. Trust these inner signals because they are guiding you directly toward what is meant for you. Another blessing unfolding is validation. The same people who doubted you, dismissed you, or underestimated your journey may soon recognize your growth. Some will openly acknowledge it. Others will quietly feel it. But either way, the universe is balancing the scales. You do not need revenge. Elevation is the response. Chosen ones, you are also entering a phase where your presence alone inspires others. People may open up to you without knowing why. They may seek your advice, your energy, or your perspective. This is because you have walked through darkness and emerged with wisdom. Your pain was not wasted, it refined you. During this time, guard your energy carefully. Not everyone needs to know your plans. Not every blessing needs to be announced. What is growing now needs peace, not pressure. Silence will protect your progress. You may notice a deep sense of gratitude rising within you, even before everything fully manifests. This gratitude is powerful. It is confirmation that your soul recognizes what is already unfolding. Gratitude locks in the timeline you are stepping into. Chosen ones, this is also a period of release from guilt and self-blame. You are finally understanding that you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. The shame you've been carrying was never meant to follow you into this new chapter. Let it go. Forgiveness, especially toward yourself, is part of the miracle. January 17th is imprinting a new belief into your spirit that good things can happen quickly, that ease is allowed, that you don't have to suffer to deserve blessings. This belief alone changes everything. Chosen ones, as this unfolding continues, you may realize that your priorities are changing in ways you didn't consciously plan. What once felt urgent now feels unnecessary. What once drained you now feels distant. This is because your soul is recalibrating to a higher standard. You are no longer available for chaos, confusion, or half-hearted energy. And the moment you decide that, the universe begins rearranging your life to match it. You may notice doors closing without effort, situations ending without drama, people fading away naturally. This is not loss. This is alignment. What is leaving now cannot follow you into the next phase, and what is meant for you is already finding its way in. Chosen ones, this is also a season of answered prayers that arrive in unexpected forms. You may have asked for stability and received clarity. You may have asked for love and received self-worth. You may have asked for abundance and receive an idea that changes everything. Trust the form your blessings take. The universe is wiser than the mind. Another powerful sign of this miracle shift is confidence returning quietly. Not loud, not arrogant, but steady. You no longer need to prove yourself. You no longer seek approval. You know who you are becoming, and that knowing grounds you deeply. This confidence is magnetic. It draws the right people, opportunities, and outcomes toward you effortlessly. Chosen ones, pay attention to synchronicities during this time. Repeating numbers, familiar words, messages that seem to answer thoughts you never spoke out loud. These are confirmations. You are being guided step by step, even when you can't see the full picture yet. There may be moments where fear tries to resurface, reminding you of past disappointments. When this happens, do not fight it. Simply observe it and let it pass. Fear is the echo of an old chapter trying to pull you back, but you are already moving forward. Chosen ones, rest when your body asks for it. Your system is integrating a lot of change at once. Rest is not laziness right now. It is preparation. Energy is being redistributed. Strength is being rebuilt. When you pause, you allow the miracle to anchor itself more deeply. January 17th marks the beginning of sustained movement, not a single event. This is a ripple effect. One blessing leads to another. One shift opens the door for the next. And before you realize it, you will look back and barely recognize the version of yourself that once struggled so hard to survive. You are stepping into a timeline where life meets you with cooperation instead of resistance, where effort is met with reward, where faith is met with evidence. This reward phase carries a very different feeling from everything you've known before. It doesn't arrive with chaos or urgency. It arrives with calm certainty. You will begin to feel safe in ways you never did, even when things around you are still changing. This inner safety is the foundation of everything that comes next. When you feel safe, you allow blessings to stay. You may notice that your patience has deepened, not because you are waiting anymore, but because you trust. You trust the timing. You trust yourself. You trust what is unfolding. This trust is powerful. It signals to the universe that you are ready for long-term stability, not just temporary wins. Chosen ones, something that once felt impossible, will now start to feel inevitable. You will sense it before you see it. A knowing will settle in your chest that says, this is happening. And once that knowing arrives, nothing can stop what is meant to reach you. This is also a time where your self-respect strengthens. You will no longer tolerate being misunderstood, undervalued, or taken for granted. And the moment you draw that boundary, life responds with respect. Opportunities improve, relationships become healthier, conversations become clearer. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors to better experiences. Chosen ones, you are being guided to simplify your life. Less explaining, less chasing, less overthinking. The simpler you keep things now, the faster everything aligns. Complexity was part of the old struggle. Ease belongs to the new chapter. You may feel called to release old labels you placed on yourself. The one who struggles, the one who sacrifices, the one who always waits. Those identities no longer fit. You are allowed to redefine yourself. You are allowed to step into ease, joy, and success without guilt. January 17th activates a powerful reset in how you see your future. You are no longer planning from fear. You are envisioning from possibility. This shift alone changes your path dramatically. Chosen ones, your presence now carries authority, not dominance, but grounded strength. People will sense it. Situations will respond to it. This is what happens when you align with your true frequency. Stay aware of the small wins. Celebrate them. They are signs that bigger blessings are already in motion. Gratitude keeps the flow open.